Kia ora, hello, my name is Ellie and welcome to my channel. It is 2026. Well, for me it is not, but for you it is, and I wanted to start off the year strong by posting. I took a bit of a break last year. I was just so overwhelmed, and right now I'm still overwhelmed because I'm still in the overwhelmed state that is the end of the year working in retail. Well, I actually work in fast moving consumer goods, FMCG, the term, and design. So it's busy for me leading up to Christmas, and I finally got a break today to film a little bit of content. I thought I would talk to you about the projects I want to complete in 2026. I have these big goals of like picking out 26 projects I'm going to stick to, but we all know I won't. In fact, like right behind the camera are the projects I set at the beginning of 2025, and I've literally crossed off 2 of them. So it is, you know, it's not always going to be perfect, but these are my wish list of things I'd love to complete in 2026, and if I complete any of them, wow, cool, go me. And if I don't, that's okay. Obviously people change their minds about what they want to do throughout the year. The only thing I know for certain is I want to knit, crochet and sew. So here are the projects, my big wish list of 2026 that are knitting, sewing and crochet. And you may notice I've added knitting to the list, and that is because I've been into knitting recently. I, at this moment in time, am still working on it, but I will insert a picture here of my very first knitted garment. And amongst that I bought 2 kits of knitting back in October or November, and one of them was a Sophie scarf and a dishcloth pattern. It was from Prosper Yarn, which are a indie dyeing company here in Auckland actually, and I decided to buy some kits so I could learn how to knit, and it came with knitting needles, which I then promptly went and bought an interchangeable set of knitting needles. So I'm safe to say I'm back into knitting. If you didn't know, because you may not know, I studied knitting, but I worked in digital knit, so hand knit is a phenomenon to me. I'm not very good at it, but I can whiz up some stuff on the computer. And I also, to my side, have a, it is really messy, I'm so sorry, my knitting machine underneath lots of yarn, because I also know how to use a knitting machine. But hand knitting was not my forte until very recently, so I do have some knitting projects on this list, and I think as a treat we're going to start off with those. So there are 2 I'd really love to complete sooner rather than later, and that is because this is a library book. I made use of the library and I got this book out from the library. It is 52 Weeks of Easy Knits by Lane. I'd love to purchase this book, but I think I'm just going to keep getting it out from the library, and I've got some patterns saved. I don't know how to say this because it's not an English word. Rite. It is a really cool long vest, and yeah, you can't really see the detail parts of it, but it's just a really nice vest with a chunky yarn. Here is that. So I have this book until the 5th of January, which this video will go up after, but I think I'm just going to do a sneaky and take pictures of the patterns I want to continue doing, and then get the book out again in the future. But this is the yarn I've bought for that first project, and you may also notice that a theme of my life is purple. So here's purple project number 1. I'm looking forward to making that. It's not very summery though, so that will probably be a project for later. And then the other project I have from this book, oh my goodness, that I really want to complete in the first half of this year, we'll see, is the cupola. This project here, it is a cute stripy jumper. I'm just going all in, as you can see. And that one requires 2 types of yarn. Here's some detail shots, close up of my face. And for that one, let me grab the yarn for that. Also, you're gonna notice the theme. I have picked out purple again. I don't know why I keep doing this myself. So I've got the Bella Baby, which I got from Spotlight, 2 different colours. This is the Baby Wonder 8 ply. Those are my 2 knitting projects that are at the top of my list. And then I've got one more in this book that I would love to create. And it is a love. It is not a requirement, but it would be very cool if I can. And that is the Tivoli jumper, which is a big jumper. Chunky yarn. I think it's just because the inspo's purple, but I won't do it purple. I promise I will not do it purple. That is the last one on my list from the knitting that I want to create. So we'll see if I do that one. I don't have any yarn for that yet, but I can go get some. But yeah, so that is my 3 knitting projects that are at the top of my list. And then continuing on for that, I really enjoyed making the Sophie scarf, and I know a lot of people like hark on it about it, and there's some drama about petite knits. I don't know. I'd like to do a Sophie hood, if not for myself, as a gift for someone. I just really enjoyed the monotony of it. I did find the counting hard, and so my scarf wasn't perfect, but that's okay. It's all about practicing, and I think improving your skill set while making it. And I think even just seeing in the jumper or the top I was making, the difference between the first 2 panels and my last 2 panels is just crazy. The more you knit, the more you get better. Same with crochet. So that one is on my list. The first one I would like to make is the Tate romper. I can't remember who the pattern is by. I should know, but I do not. I will leave a link down to it below. And I bought this pattern recently because I finally found out who it was by, and I love it. And I bought some fabric for it as well. This is the fabric I've bought to do my Tate romper. I would just love a cute romper. I'm ideally hoping to do this one sooner rather than later because I think it's a good like summery one while not being too cold. I can put like a jumper over top of it. I don't know. So summer autumn project is this one here, and I think, I don't know, I finally can have another project like this. And then by the same person is this really cool bow bag that I also bought the pattern for, of course. And I think it's so cute. Do I need it? No. Do I use a lot of different bags? No. I literally use the same bag all the time that is behind me, but that one is looking a little bit worse for wear, so I would love to replace that with something different. And in saying that as well, I would love to make another version of the crescent bag by, ooh, I don't want to butcher the name, so I'll also leave it there for you to see. I'll link all the patterns down below. This one is actually one I pattern tested, so I really enjoy making this. I made one for myself already, but I want to make one in a different, not yarn, gosh, I'm so in like a knitting crochet mode, in a different fabric, something I can wear with every single outfit, so probably black or blue or purple. You know me, I'm simple in my color choices. All that, I just go for patterns. But yeah, so those are the ones I'd like to make the most in my sewing. And then there's a few other ones that are on my little wish list. One that I've been meaning to make for quite some time and I just haven't is the Aura Pinafore by Soften Studio. I've owned this pattern now for 2 years. Well, a year and a half. I bought it on my birthday 2 years ago in 2024, and I did not make it, so I endeavour to make it in 2026, and I'm holding that against me because I think it'll be a really good winter staple for me. So that's on my plans. I have ideas for the fabric. I've got some like recycled denim I'd like to use, or I have some other fabric I think I could make it with without buying fabric. I think that's a big project for me this year, is not purchasing new fabric, so we'll see how that goes. And then another one I'd like to make that I also have the fabric for, and I cannot see the fabric, but I know somewhere in my stash it is. But my situation with my stash is very messy, so I'm not going to go dig for it. But it's inspired by this brand that I cannot remember the name of for the life of me. This is just, you can never expect me to remember names, sorry. But however, they are an Australian brand, I'm pretty sure, and I found them when I was breastfeeding my daughter. And something I would love for the future, not announcing a pregnancy or anything, just saying, I'm just being extra prepared, is a really cool breastfeeding dress that I would like to make this year, because Byron and I would like to have another kid, but not announcing anything, I swear. But yeah, I'd like to be prepared this time, because for my daughter I was not prepared in making breastfeeding friendly clothes, pregnancy friendly clothes, and so if I can muster up the time this year to make a breastfeeding dress with hidden zips so I can whip a boob out, that would be great. And I have 2 more sewing projects, and they're all dresses. I just keep picking dresses. It's funny because actually I normally make a lot of dresses, or I lean towards them, but this year I leaned a lot more, well, I said this year, 2025, I leaned a lot more towards pants. So I guess I'm going back to my roots, and I'd love to make my absolute dream patchwork dress. I actually started on this one in some capacity in 2024 and 2025 by cutting up my scraps into squares. So in my scrap bucket, which is that way, I have a whole lot of squares of different sizes. It's nothing specific, but they're the ones I'd love to make into my dream patchwork dress. I don't know who this is by, it's just inspo on Pinterest, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna force myself to make a 10 million year project. Pray for me for doing it. We will see. I really want to do this. It's probably like one of my top projects, but I also had it as a top project in 2025 and I didn't even touch it really, so And then the very last one for my sewing is another one that's been on my list for a few years, but I'm determined to do it this summer, and that is the sheer dress. And let me show you the fabric I picked out for it, because I can see it right here. So this is the fabric I've picked out, and it is, I just think it's perfect. Like, it's not the same, but it's the same vibes. It's a sheer black cross fabric, and I would just love to make this a sheer over dress, and underneath this, I don't know what I'd wear underneath honestly, but this is the dream, and so I'd love to make this soon rather than later, because I think it's a better one for summer. Okay, moving on to crochet. Woo. Crochet is my go-to project thing to do. I find it so easy, so effortless. And in saying that, I don't actually have a lot of plans in 2026 for crochet. I think I'm very much like in the moment. I see something that inspires me and I do it. However, I've got a few that I'd love to do, and I think I'm in my vest moment. I've never thought I really suited vests before, but I'm trying to make it work. As you can see, I've really got one on my list, and the other one I've got on my list is a granny square vest. I've never made one for myself, but I should never made one in general, but I would love to make one. Here's some inspo pics. I'd love to make it with yarn I have in my stash, preferably not purple, so we will see. The second one I'd love to do, which I think is just going to be a square year for me, is a granny square dress. It sounds like a huge commitment, but I would love to do one that's like monochromatic, maybe purple, maybe green. Ooh, those are my two favorite colors, if you can't tell. I'd love to do just a dress that I can then wear like over this t-shirt, so it just elevates my outfits a little bit more, makes them a little bit more fun. So that's the next one. Here's some inspo pics for that. And then my final one is another top vest thingy, and it's like, I actually need to grab something for you to show you. So I bought this book, and I have not even, well, I've like looked through it vaguely, but I haven't really looked through it. But I think I want to pick a square from here that I really like and just make a vest out of it. It's either for me or it's for my daughter. I haven't decided yet, but I did make her that the sunny day vest, what did I call it? I don't remember. It was one of my last videos I uploaded, and I'd love to make something similar to that, but ideally with more squares. So there's just so many square options in this book, and yeah, I think that'd be really fun. So that's my last wearable I'm going to talk about for crochet. I haven't decided, I just know it's something I want to do. And then the final one I would love to do in 2026 is the Persian tiles blanket. Every year I feel like I pick a blanket project and then regret it. So this is the one I'm picking for 2026. Have I bought the pattern? No. Do I have the yarn? No. Have I decided anything? No. It's just on my wish list. And because I have endeavoured to finish my 2025 reading blanket, which video coming soon of the finished blanket, it is going to be finished sooner than the end of this year. No, I'm actually really close to finishing it, which is pretty good for me, seeing as my 2023 one took over a year to finish. So I'm doing good. But in saying that, I'd like to have a fun big blanket project. I don't think we need this blanket for our family because we got enough. But I think it's one that I could gift to someone at the end of 2026. So yeah, that's my biggest commitment for 2026. It's going to be the Persian tiles blanket. Ideally, I'll use yarns I have. I've got so many yarns that I think I could use up for this, and it'll be fun. So why not do it, you know? Why not commit myself to something crazy again? So that's a lot of talking, and I don't even know what I said for half of that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and looking through my potential projects for 2026. If you want to see if I do any of them, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Otherwise, check out my Instagram where I actually post more often. And I'll see you guys all next week. Every second week on like a Friday-ish I upload. So next week will be, fingers crossed, my 2025 reading blanket, and if not that, it's going to be a project video about bags. So enjoy either one of those. See you later.